It's 6:30 in the morning on May the 22nd, and my one fish is alive, but my other fish I had to bury. And it was, I did that last night, and it was a terrible experience because the fish was floating upside down, and it seemed obviously dead to me. And so I picked it up with my hand out of the water, and then I packed it and set it down on the ground, and I was digging the hole, and then I put the fish in the hole, and it gasped, and I screamed, and so I was burying a live fish. But then I picked it up out of the dirt, and I went and rinsed it in the sink, trying to get the dirt off the fish, and I was going to put it back in the tank, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And then the water was too cold, and then the water was too hot, and I wasn't getting it right out of the tap, and I was, and anyway, other fish is dead. So, but I still have that one guy, and she's really doing fine. So I'm very happy about having her still. And you know, I used to, years ago, I had a wonderful catfish, a Hoplosternum thoracatum, and he was such a wonderful friend to me. He was shy, and I would sit beside the tank, and he'd be watching me, and I could see out of the corner of my eye he was watching me, but then when I'd look over at him, he'd scurry off. He was such a sweet guy. And this girl's pretty friendly too. She comes over and says hi. And I also had Polypterus palmus, or I don't know if you pronounce the Polypterus, I maybe Polypterus. I don't know if that second P is really pronounced, but anyway, I'm gonna go to the pet store today, and I'm gonna get a catfish, and I'm going to get an apple snail because I love apple snails, and I hope this little goldfish will be happy with that. What I really want is, when I was 10 years old, I went to play bingo while my mom was working. I wasn't allowed to work the bingos yet. Sometimes they'd sneak me in and I'd work them, but I wasn't actually allowed to at that age, I think. So I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't allowed to sell bonanza tickets. I don't know what it was. Anyway, but my mom would go volunteer for such organizations, and one of them was pro-life and one of them was SPCA, and I don't know which one she was doing bingos for. She also volunteered a lot for Red Cross. I couldn't tell you which the bingos were for. I think for sure the SPCA, but she did a lot of volunteer work, my mother, and so I would go and volunteer places with her. But this one time I was just playing bingo while she was volunteering, and I loved spending any opportunity I had to spend with my mom. I did, because she was a very busy woman, and so I would go volunteering with her just to spend time with her. And the bingo halls in those days were so smoky, and it's funny because if it was for the pro-life, I mean, here I was a child in a smoky bingo hall, which is hilarious, raising money for them. But in this case, I wasn't. Anyway, I'm not telling the story very well. But in any case, this time I was just playing bingo, which I also shouldn't have been, because I don't think you're allowed to gamble at that age. So I don't know who was managing my tickets for me, you know, but I was the one dabbing, and I was the one winning, and I was the one who got the prize, and I won $50. And what I wanted more than anything was a fish tank. And so I got this fish tank, and I got an Oscar and an angelfish, and I had wonderful toys with the air bubblers. So I had one of the scuba divers, and I had a treasure chest that would open. It was fabulous. And there were so many toys in my fish tank for my fish, which they were probably like, we would rather have the room to swim than all these toys. But this tank is quite large, and she has plenty of room to swim, so I'm sure she's happy. Even with the toys. And I don't even have interesting toys for her in here. They're really quite boring. But I would like to have them. I would like to have more bubblers and more fun toys that move when the bubbles. Anyway, but I don't. But I have fish, and I'm happy with her. She's such a lovely lady. And the other fish, as beautiful as it was kind of mean. So I don't know. This one's a better fish. But now she's probably really lonesome. Because even having a mean friend is better than having no friend at all, probably. Well, she has me, but that's not the same thing. Anyway, she's happy, and I'll get her some happy friends. So anyway, I bought this fish tank, and it was wonderful. And then my mom bought me a bigger fish tank, because she knew that I needed a bigger one, and she called it her fish tank, but it was really, she was just saying that. And I don't know why she said that. She should have just said this was a gift. But anyway, she put my fish in the bigger fish tank, and then I met this boy, and he was always impressed with my mother's fish tank, and I never told him. Well, actually, you know, it's the whole fish world. That was me. But anyway, there's my fish. And I've made a few changes in my environment, my outdoor living environment. I put foot rails. Now, they're not actual foot rails. They're just trellis stuff because I might have to put another one here, but so far it's keeping Amfred from jumping down this way because I've put plants in here, and I'll put some more in. And I didn't want her to just keep stomping down plants, so I had to put foot rails. And anyway, it holds up the screen nicely, so that's good. And everything, I mentioned that all of my lemon trees die. Well, they don't. This one's pretty big already, so I guess yeah, they don't all die, but that one's too big to make a bonsai out of or anything. It's just going to be a lemon tree, just as it is. And all of my plants that were wilting have perked right up, so everybody's doing okay that way. It's just my one fish that didn't take the move. So this is my couple tomato plants that were growing together, and they're doing just fine. I'm thrilled. They're really turgid. So James has been moving those to the car. Those, you probably can't see them, the camera's really bad. But that's about, well, maybe it's about a third of the tomatoes I have to go in at his place. So, see how that goes. And then I wanted to throw a few portulaca in these up here. And I still need to, oh boy, in my throat. I still need to plant this guy up. I want to put some begonias in here and over on the other side of the deck where it's cool. But anyway, everybody's doing pretty good. I was listening to this morning, and it's not too bad. It's not my kind of thing, and I don't believe that most Christians hate Adam and Eve. As was suggested. I don't want to get into a feminist rant. The dogs are going crazy because they can hear James going back and forth, right? And they don't know why. James, did you want me to wash this laundry on the chair here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I just forgot to take it.
Anyway, so I'm drinking coffee again this morning. I don't know. I didn't tell James. Apparently I only got 3 hours, 10 minutes sleep. But I feel fine. But, you know, I'd gotten so much sleep the night before, I think that's why. But honestly, that was a good 3 hours because I feel fine. And I mean, I did wake up early and I did get to sleep late. So it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. Last night we were trying to, so keeping up with what I've been eating, sharing honestly, not good. But I've also been, like last night, about 9 or 10 at night, James and I were chatting, and we were like, oh, well, we should eat some chocolate. So he was like, should I get it or should? And I was like, oh, I'll go get it. So I'd been saving, there were a couple of these eggs that looked fantastic. And so I was looking for those, and I knew where I'd left them, and I left them somewhere where they were within sight for James. And so I came out, I was searching for them. I'm like, where did they go? I'm searching through we have this candy tub that, well, it's a chocolate kind of tub that, I mean, he goes through it, but I guess he has been going to school, so yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But he'd eaten both of them. Both of them. They were exactly the same. And I've been saving them. I told him for a special time when I could each sit and have one, just like last night. So we got none. None last night. So I went to the deep freeze and I got us each a chocolate chip cookie. Instead, so we each had a chocolate chip cookie. So that was not healthy either, and it was tasty. So whatever. Would rather anyway. And what else? Oh, I had my oatmeal. I had my oatmeal first. With the, you know, with the Saskatoons and the cinnamon stuff, black seed. But for some reason, I guess because I was so active yesterday, I wanted the chocolate, and I did have a cookie, so whatever. And well, I was probably sad about the fish. That was a terrible experience. I mean, worse for the fish, because she was so strong in the morning. She was such a strong fish, and I just screwed up. See, what you should do is when you're moving your fish, you should take time, lots of time. So you put them in a bag or whatever. It could be a Tupperware container, but a bag. You put them in a bag, like a Ziploc bag or something, and then you soak, like you take them and the water from their old fish tank and you soak it in the new tank of water so that they can kind of adjust to the different temperature and whatever, right? So, and then you add a little bit of water from the new tank into their bag at a time. Just close the bag back up, and you just keep doing that for as long as possible. Honestly, you want these fish to adjust, and I didn't take the time. I was just feeling with my finger, and I'm like, yep, feels about right, and dumped them in. Oh, good. Lost a fish. Had her for years. She was lovely. Well, maybe not in personality, actually. The other one that's left, I like this one. But still, I don't want to kill fish. And especially, you know, all the care that went into, you know, over the years. Wasted. It's gone. It's just like, anyway, really loud. You probably don't want to listen to dogs barking back when James goes back and forth, so I'm going to turn that off. And I guess I'll get some weeding done. Well, it's nice and cool in the yard. I'll just have to put on a jacket or something because it is a little bit cool for me, seeing as my hair's wet.